Stock market investors, welcome back to the channel. My name is Jason. In today's episode, we're going to talk about SoFi stock, and I'm going to give you 3 reasons why I think a run-up is coming for SoFi in the next 3, 6, 12, 18 months, guys. A lot of really good things cooking underneath the surface for SoFi stock. I'm going to break that down for you guys today in this video. We had a great week considering the stock went all the way down to 21 bucks and rebounded and closed this week up over $25. All right, guys, make sure you stick around. Here comes 3 reasons why I think a run-up is coming for SoFi stock that could make you all rich. All right, SoFi investors, do me a huge favor, hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It does really help us get into YouTube's algorithm, guys. And here is the weekly chart, guys. We could see that, like I was saying earlier in the intro, we were down to 21.51 and we closed, up over 25 bucks, guys. Over the last month, it's been a little bit of a wobbly roller coaster, right? Up and down and up and down and up and down. But I do think we are on a great trajectory for the long term. Over the last 3 months, we're up almost 100%, guys. Year to date, killing it, nearly up 70%. And over the last year, OMG, SoFi stock is up a whopping 250%, guys. Really cool stuff. All right, let's get into the video. Here are my 3 reasons why I think a run-up is coming for SoFi stock. All right, investors, if you take a look at your screen right here, Federal Chairman Jerome Powell just did his Jackson Hole Summit where he took the stage and kind of gave out a runway of where we're going to be going in the next year or so, right? So he did say in his speech that there is a good chance that the current climate is going to allow them to decrease interest rates. So I do think with this macro environment being more friendly for lending, we're going to see a huge run in revenue for SoFi stock, guys. Fed Chair Powell opens door to September rate cut in Jackson Hole speech, says economic outlook may warrant change in stance. And the market absolutely loved it. The Dow up 1.34%, the S&P up 1%, and then the NASDAQ up 1% as well, right? So what are they saying about rate cuts? Several experts and organizations predict the refinance market will see growth towards the end of 2025 into 2026. Here are some of the sources here on the left-hand side, including Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, Fannie Mae, and the National Association of Home Builders, right? Here's kind of the outlook that they're kind of projecting. Growth is contingent on rates declining further in 2025 from Freddie Mae. Expects rates to potentially drop to 6.3% in 2026. Fannie Mae is projecting increasing mortgage originations volumes in both 25 and 26. And the National Association of Home Builders predicts rates will fall below 6% in 2026. That is huge for SoFi stock. And then if we take a look here, a 90% chance of Federal Reserve rate cut for September refers to the high probability that the Fed will lower its key interest rate at its upcoming meeting September 16th through the 17th. And sentiment went from 75% to 90%. So the markets are pricing in a rate cut next month in the middle of the month, a little less than a month away, September 16th and 17th. As we could say here, the market is betting that, going from what it was around 75% chance to 90%, the market is kind of pricing in a rate decrease. And here's what that 90% chance actually means. The market is betting that the rates will go down. And if rates go down, that means money is more available to people, and some of that money could find its way into the stock market, right? And then in this shifting outlook, right, from 75% to 90%, we could see in the short term, a run up maybe 1 to 3% over the next month, depending on if this outlook and this sentiment stays the same. All right, stock market investors, here's my second reason why I think there could be a huge run up in SoFi stock over the next 6 to 18 months. And that is the mortgage refis and home loans, I think, are going to go through the moon, guys, right? Interest rates above 6% isn't really a great environment to be borrowing money, right? As of mid to late 2025, a gradual decline in interest rates has created a window for refinancing, particularly for those who bought or refinanced between 2022 and early 2024, which peaked near 8%, right? So over the last couple of years, if you got interest rates in that 6 to 7.5% range over the next year or two, as those interest rates go down, most companies have one free refinance, right? So that's great for people who got mortgages over the last few years, right? There's a lot of money out there, guys. Take a look at some of these facts I uncovered. Significant pool of eligible homeowners. Over 1/5 of active mortgages have an interest rate of 5% or higher, and 14.3% have a rate of 6% or higher. Most of these high rate loans were originated in the past 2 years. The average 30-year mortgage rate in the United States is about 6.75%. As of today. That's crazy, guys. That is absolutely insane. People are getting obliterated in interest payments, man. Recent surge in activity, a modest decline in mortgage rates in recent weeks have already triggered a spike in refinance applications from homeowners with rates above 7%, right, guys? So these kind of rate decreases are kind of already getting priced in, right? So, and another thing I want to talk about is a record high home equity, right? Home equity loans are a great thing if you want to add a pool, you want to add an addition, you want to put new carpets in your house. You could tap into the equity you build up in your home and then get whatever you need for your house, right? Whether it be a garage, whatever. It makes no difference of what it is, but when they get these home equity loans, who's going to be a beneficiary of that? SoFi is, right? Because they're going to be giving out those loans, right? The United States have an all-time high of $35 trillion in equity in their homes, and they could put that equity to work for them over the coming years, right? There's just pent-up demand too. That's another thing I want to talk about, right? You got to be a crazy person if you wanted to sell your house at and you had a 3% mortgage for a 6 or 7.5% mortgage. That makes no sense financially, right? So there's a lot of pent-up demand. And once these rates start to fall, we could see a huge rise in demand for homeowners to leave their homes and get new homes, right? And then SoFi's home loan business is booming, man. It's growing fast. In the first quarter, SoFi's home loan originations totaled $518 million. This is less than 1/10 of its personal loan originations and about half of its student loan volume. Huge runway for growth is coming, guys. And here's why I'm excited about home loans. The past 2 years have been almost a worst case scenario for home loans, and SoFi has continued to execute over and over and over again, guys, without fail. Like I said before, when these rates go to 6, 5.5%, 5%, the refi market is going to be crazy. Lower rates is a massive opportunity for mortgages and refinances, and SoFi is in that business. They currently offer refinancing loans, including cash out refis, a variety of purchase mortgages and home equity loans and home equity lines of credit. In fact, SoFi's HELOCs have some competitive advantages such as no application fees and the ability to borrow up to 90% of your home equity. Many lenders limit it to 80%, guys. This is huge and a great reason why we could see a potential run up in the stock, because smart money is going to get out ahead of this before it actually happens. Here comes number 3. My third and final reason is just the overall quality of this business and the growth that continues to happen year after year and quarter after quarter, guys. The members in thousands, crazy, man. The growth just continues to grow and grow and grow. Year over year growth, Q2 2025, 34%, 846,000 new members, guys. Woo! Over almost 12 million members in the SoFi ecosystem, and it continues to grow quarter after quarter, guys. We're going to be in that 13 to 14 million member range by the end of 2025. And then adjusted net revenue, guys. Just look at this upward slope, man. This is how you want your businesses to look. Year over year growth. Look at this. Look at this bounce back. 44% in adjusted net revenue in Q2. Almost a double up from year over year growth. It's really, really crazy, man. It's quite remarkable how well Anthony Noto and the team have been continuing to execute this business, guys. And then let's bring it up for the adjusted EBITDA. The slope is even more dramatic towards the upside, guys. The margins, 29% in Q2 2025, and they're guiding, $960 million in adjusted EBITDA, right? The earnings are looking better and better. Look at the margins. year after year just continue improvement over since 2021, guys. It's quite remarkable. I'm very excited for the future of this company and where it could potentially go, guys. And once again, here's the adjusted net income they're guiding for $370 million this year. Look how much we were in the red in 21, 22, 23. And then if we finally became profitable in 2024, and that profitability will continue to extrapolate year after year from negative 21% to negative 3% to 9% to 11%. The growth is there, guys, and it is something every SoFi investor should be excited about. And diversified revenue is a big part of this business model. The adjusted net revenue, the fee-based revenue mix, everything. The fee-based revenue is huge, guys. Huge in millions of dollars. This acceleration is crazy. You know, we ticked down a little bit to 67%, but 74, 67, those are remarkable numbers. Anything above 50% is exceptional growth here, guys, and it's continuing to just drive growth in every facet of this business, guys. So the overall business is just doing so well, and I'm really excited about it, guys. And then here are personal loans, student loans, and home loans. Personal loans are just doing great. Student loans, there's been ebbs and flows, right? That's kind of how this business model works, is that when one facet is doing great and the other ones aren't doing great, it all balances out at the end of the day. And home loans, man, pretty stagnant in 22 and 23 because of those high freaking interest rates. But man, we're starting to see a true acceleration. We've almost made as much in millions of dollars in the first 2 quarters than we did the entire year in 2024, guys. It's huge. And I got a bonus for you guys coming up. Make sure you stick around for that. The last thing I want to talk about, another growth trajectory for SoFi stock, is institutional ownership, guys. We just crossed over 600 million institutional shares owned. And I think that offering of $1.5 billion got gobbled up by these institutional investors. And I'll show you proof of that right here, right? From pretty much, you know, the beginning of 2025, we've seen a sell-off of institutional investors month after month after month after month. And boom, right when that offer hit, look at that jump. We are at the highest institutional ownership of shares in SoFi history, guys. And as you can see, as the stock price, it's kind of hard to see this line, but as it goes up in conjunction with the amount of shares owned by institutions, that's not a coincidence, guys. And when this was a selling off, so was the stock, right? We're up over 50% of outstanding shares are owned by institutions, 600 million shares owned by institutions. And guys, smart money's getting in, and that's why you got to get in. I know the stock has run up considerably over the last year, so dollar cost average slowly, especially when you see a decrease, you know, from $25 to $21. That's when you want to start nibbling. Anytime the stock goes below like 10% of like the, you know, 180-day or 60-day moving average, whatever one you prefer, you know, that's the time to gobble up. Anytime there's a 10% decrease from the all-time highs and one-year highs, that's when I start to accumulate shares slowly but surely, guys. All right, that's my 4 reasons why I think there's going to be a run-up in SoFi stock that could potentially make us all very, very wealthy, guys. If you want more videos like this, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. You guys are the best. We just crossed 3K on to 4. Thank you so much.